Hello everyone, I hope everyone listening to this podcast is doing well in their lives. This is the first episode of a very long and important podcast for everyone's spiritual well-being. To start today's episode off, I'm gonna ask a couple of very critical questions which are going to help us introduce our very deep and complex topic. So, first of all, is it possible to see the truth? The truth we all deserve, the truth we all seek and desire to know. Well, it's obvious that we are all human and we're in this world temporarily. We're all here for a short time, right? We all have limited resources. We have boundaries and limits that are given to us when we were born and that will stay with us until we die. So, with all these circumstances that are unfortunately given to us, is it possible to read all the books? Is it possible to understand and study all the religions? Is it possible to see every corner of the box? Do we have to go through all the paths just to find ours? So, if we can't find our own truth outside, where does our own truth reside? Where is this truth that keeps hiding from us that we so much want to have? But if truth doesn't exist outside, it must exist within us, right? It exists inside us. But where? Where and how do we access it? Right, so we can all agree as human beings that everyone has a soul and that every soul is unique and special in its own way. Every soul was handcrafted by God Himself, therefore making a soul's value much more than you can ever imagine. So before all this, before a soul is created and sent to this world, it's given a choice whether to have an objective or not. The souls that choose an objective come to this world and they choose a body. They choose the body of their choice so they can grow this body. They can, they can enhance this body, evolve this body, make it better and stronger. And then they can use this body to leave their mark on this world, therefore completing their objective. They're given a very important purpose, which then becomes our purpose, our own truth. So where does the truth reside? This truth exists in the soul's memory. Sometimes the soul forgets. Well, not sometimes, most of the times the soul forgets why it even got sent to this world. Like an old man with Alzheimer's, you have to remind the soul. You have to say a word, or you have to experience something or learn something new for the soul to remember it. How does the soul remember it? When you like something, when you find interest in something, it means that this has a connection to your soul. When you want to do something, your soul used to do it, or this might be a part of the huge objective your soul, will have to complete. Well, this is just how it is, and people will eventually understand how the soul works and how the body needs the soul the same way that the soul needs the body, like the yin and yang. So basically, if you want to understand your origins, you have to experience something, but this isn't the only way. Methods have been created throughout the whole history of mankind to understand our purpose. Humans are very powerful creatures. And if you don't understand your purpose, it can leave a very, very damaging influence on your lives. So there are many methods that were created, but these methods, the main thing between all these methods, the relationship between all these methods is worship. The worshipping of something higher than us, the worshipping of a powerful being. The first thing humans ever worshipped was probably fire, water, air, trees, nature. We worshipped nature first, something that was higher than us, something that we were scared of and admired at the same time. And then, as society became more complex, we started creating our own idols out of stone. We made our own gods and worshipped them in return, maybe for protection, maybe for, better crops, for anything. But we started worshipping idols. And then, in order to get something from these idols, we did rituals, sacrificial rituals. So until this point of humanity, our purpose was worshipping, sacrificing, and working for these idols to impress them, in return to get better, let's say, accommodation and to get some benefits out of them. And then the Abrahamic religions, for example, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, and Islam. These religions changed the course of humanity and made the purpose of every human more complex and deep. Now, our only purpose wasn't just worshipping idols, it was living for them. We lived for God and nothing else. Everything we did was for God. If we spoke, if we went to war, if we got sick, anything we did, we used to say, or we still say it is God's will. Our whole life was centered to one being, and it was God. This purpose became more and more complex until today, but the same thing is centered, God. God is the center of everything we live for until today. But has this really helped us? Have all these methods given us the ability to discover our own truth? Or have all these methods lured us away from our purpose and given us a new purpose? A purpose to keep us away from the potential we can reach. All these books, all these religions, all these years of sacrifice to study methods and give us the ultimate path to reach the truth that resides within us. But still, we still can't discover ourselves without having to suffer for years. So how do we reach our truth? How do we understand ourselves? Why do we have to go through all of this just to know who we are? None of these methods were effective nor efficient, but there has to be a way. There's always a way. There has to be a way. Well, I have good news for you. There is a way. There's a practical, very effective, short, and efficient way, not just to discover ourselves, but to see the truth which exists within us and which completes us as spiritual beings. In our next episodes, we're going to go further into this very complex topic. We're going to teach you new ways. We're not going to make you like ourselves. We're going to make you yourself. We're going to help you understand yourself, and we're going to give you everything you need to understand on a spiritual level what happens around you and how to see through your environment. So stay tuned. And always remember, nothing is here but the truth.